Chat, one last time. Let's go to work. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Brunch Gimmick. We are back live. We are going to be talking Saturday night's main event, John Cena's final year, and John Cena's career as a whole. It's our John Cena special. Obviously, big night last night. Hope everyone had a great weekend, a great week, as we head full force in the holiday weekend. Hanukkah starts on Monday, just a few hours away. So our Jewish friends, happy Hanukkah. I had a pretty easygoing weekend this weekend. Just did a little Christmas shopping yesterday. Walked around downtown for a little bit. What was funny is when I was at Comic-Con last week, I'm like, man, I am never going to find a Chase figure in Montreal. Like, I've shopped for AEW figures for a while. And like, I'm never going to see one. I happened to walk and stop at an EB Games, and lo and behold, the day after, I was thinking about it. I'm like, did I manifest this? I literally found a Chase Orange Cassidy figure, which I'm like, oh, God damn it, I need to buy, because I literally like somehow summoned this figure. Like they're also like their AEW figures are harder to find in Montreal. Like, they don't sell them at Walmart. Like, Walmart liquidated all their AEW figures. So it's only like, I only see them regularly at like EB Games and stuff, or GameSpot. But yeah, I got that and this Jalen Hurts over here, because I still stand by my captain. My QB1. But yeah, other than that, had an easygoing weekend. Hope everyone had an easygoing weekend. Fernando in the chat, we're going to be talking all about that. Everyone's feelings towards the main event, towards where we go from here, and our 1,600,000th new era that's supposed to start as Triple H once again declares a new era, to opposed to the new era. We will get into that. But yes, last night, John Cena's last match, Saturday night's main event. All in all, felt it was a really fun show. I really like. We'll start by going through each match, but as a whole, I felt the matches themselves, they picked the right people for each match. I felt they perfectly cast the show from top to bottom. Like, there's always 100%. It's honestly just a promoter promoting it. It's a thing. It's to get people to come watch Monday Night Raw and hope for change. But we'll get into that a little after. Fernando, how are you doing, by the way, Fernando? Hope you're having a great weekend. But yeah, the opening contest between Obafemi and Cody, which I 100%, I like when Obafemi was walking to the ring, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, I knew it from the jump. Like, the second I saw, I'm like, I can't believe I didn't think it. I told this one, I'm like, this is definitely going to end in a DQ because it's peak Triple H booking. It's, I've got this unbeat guy I can't have lose on his like first big main roster match. I can't have Cody lose to my what I feel is a secondary champion. So he's in the possible position. And it's just like shitty, lazy writing. And what was a fun match up to that point, like, man, walk into that ring, 100%, it's cowardly booking. He doesn't know what to do there. So it's Triple H. I don't know what to do here. I can't have either one lose. He defaults to DQs every single time. But from the very moment his music hit, Obafemi absolutely looked and belonged on the main roster. It's becoming more and more undeniable that he should be called up expeditiously. Like, it makes the only reason I see him not getting called up at the latest by Mania or by the Royal Rumble is because Triple H truly doesn't know what to do with him. And he's really Shawn Michaels' guy, which is insane because the rest of the world, all of us know and see him. I mean, he belonged wrestling Cody Rhodes. This wasn't a developmental guy, like, happy for the opportunity. He belonged not only on the main roster, but in the heavyweight title position. He 100% looked like he belonged, like he can dominate, and that he deserved to be there. And the same thing when he faced off with Drew McIntyre. Like, this didn't look like a young guy who didn't, like, was out of place. He looked like a guy that should be going to war against a veteran like Drew McIntyre. And like, just the, again, overused word, but the aura of him coming out, you feel it every time. Like, the pop for him in the arena, true with Matt, like sometimes you don't know with NXT wrestlers how they're going to do with the main roster crowd that might not watch NXT as much, who just might watch Raw or SmackDown every week. But the pop for him was huge. Like, I was also watching videos from people recording there, and people were fully in on his entrance. Were there they were chanting for Oba for a lot of that, like louder than Cody at times. And I think, like, this show was well done to show off future stars, which was John Cena's hope for the show. We'll get with the tag team match a little later too, and then one of that. But like, I think all the young NXT stars and TNA looked great throughout. I think he definitely accomplished that mission for this show. But Oba looked great. I was hoping, like, man, it would be really cool if they took a risk, and sort of like how Kevin Owens defeated John Cena clean when he got called up to the main roster. I was hoping maybe they would do that. Like, I don't think a clean Cody win would have done anything. It would, like, yes, you could say Oba put on a good fight, but I think Oba should have won that match. I think the lazy DQ booking took a lot away from that moment. And like, you could tell the crowd was out. Like, it took the crowd out of it for like a couple minutes. And like, Cody raising Obafemi's hand after kind of brought it back a little bit. But like, there was a second with, like, there was a little bit of awkwardness and the crowd was not happy that it ended in DQ. And neither are all our people at home, because like that should have been a moment given to Obafemi. Like, that dude is a star, undeniable. Like, not coming from, this dude was a college shot putter, and to be this good on the mic, to get your character this much, is special. But again, I worry at times that Triple H might not know what to do with him on the main roster. So like, I think he's going to lose the title to Javon Evans. It would be like, I think Javon finally gets his win over Oba coming up in the new year. And then he goes up. I think this was just to further Javon Evans' story and to have Oba versus Cody there, and also start telling the story of Oba on the main roster, because now you've already got Oba already has a rivalry starting on the main roster. Like, he can immediately start a story with Drew McIntyre the second he gets there. So it does set him up. I think the call up is coming soon. Hopefully Triple H doesn't ruin this, because he's got a star here. This is a guy just a few years ago, he wasn't a professional wrestler, and to his credit has picked it up so well, and just has that intangible which you look for in a professional wrestler. And I'm very excited for his future. And I just wish this wasn't a garbage DQ finish. But after that, we had Bayley versus Sol Ruca. Bayley, who is such a treasure to not only the women's roster, but the roster on a whole. This was, again, a really fun match. Sol Ruca. Yeah, it's it. Like, I feel like it's one of those dudes that's happy being there and just loves his job. Like, Drew McIntyre loves professional wrestling, but he's either gonna win, which, like, I hope he does, because it'd be shocking and we'll add another layer. But, like, Cody is the guy right now. He only lost it to Cena because Cena needed 17. Sandy, how are you doing? Hope all is well. But yeah, I agree with you that Drew is sort of like stuck in a no man's land. Like, I felt he was better off being like the bloodline killer and attacking the different bloodline. Remember that? Like, this heel version's all over the place, like siding with Paul Heyman now. But yeah, all in all, Drew's definitely in a weird place right now. I don't know where this is going with him. But yes, we had the women's match. Sol Ruca, again, this is why this show I felt was very well cast. They did a good job of pick 10 selecting which NXT stars went up, because it's not only just any NXT star, it's NXT stars that are ready for this moment and that have been ready for a little bit now. Sol Ruca absolutely killed it. That the Soul Snatcher always looks like $1 million, but like, especially there, absolutely drilled it on Bayley. Bayley did a great job for, like I was saying before, Bayley is such a credit to this roster on a whole, but especially the women's roster. You know how happy she is in making new stars. And like, the joy throughout of being able to push herself against a younger talent, and like getting to put over another new talent. You could tell how happy she is throughout. And this was just a fun match where you have the next potential huge star. Like, I don't think it's long before Sol Ruca is not only on the WrestleMania card, but a potential WrestleMania main eventer. Like, this is somebody who is very much like, could be one of the future poster childs of this next generation of women's wrestlers coming up. And like, I feel like that's true. I feel like the Zarya heel turn is coming soon. Sandy saying Zarya, I feel like is somebody who sort of needs to find her footing or find her character a little more, because they sort of wanted her as this like Haas crusher. That's not like what she's turned into, but like I feel she can use a little more time on the NXT roster just to find herself. I feel like she should turn heel on Sol Ruca and possibly go over Sol Ruca, because I feel she could use a big win and then Soul would go to the main roster. I actually agree with you here, and this is not like a bias thing. I remember Bayley was doing a Instagram live on the anniversary of her match with Mercedes, with Sasha Banks, and like there was sort of like a jealousy there of Mercedes being able to go to all these independent promotions and like being able to have this more freedom that she has in AEW. I think like she does want that, and like the like obviously she has a huge respect and friendship with Chris Statlander now and a lot of people on that roster. I think like Bayley has done everything you can do on that roster, and I think it would be a good refresh, even just for a few years, to go to the AEW roster, and she'd be a huge asset to them. Like if her whenever I don't know when her contract's up, or whenever her contract's up, I would like, just because it would the possible matchups you could have, and potentially Bayley on the independents, especially coming after the Lodestone School, where she got to train and spend a lot of time with a lot of the up and coming independent talent on the main roster, including two here from Montreal. You can tell how much that excited her and got like those synapses firing and stuff, and how, like the joy that gave her too. So like, yeah, I 100% agree. Bayley going to AEW would be the cooler and like creatively more exciting move, because she's pretty much done everything you can do in WWE. But yeah, I felt this was a fun match. I have a really good feeling that the NXT will be talking about the talent. See, Sandy, end of 2026. See, it is coming up. Like, again, if I'm WWE, I do everything to keep her in-house. We're a year away from her contract potentially being up. I would, again, throw a massive bag of money at her because she deserves it. But WWE and, well, TKO has been pretty stingy recently and are generally play their women's wrestlers less. So if, like, Tony Khan would be smart to give a huge payday to Bayley and, like, give those contract guarantees and, like, more freedom and stuff in her contract that WWE won't do to try to lure her away. But yes, I felt that all in all, this was a very fun women's match, or match in general. And I felt like Sol Ruca, again, the wrestlers they selected here were very, very well done. We then had the tag team match. Javon Evans, Leon Slater of TNA, the TNA X Division champion, versus AJ Lee. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. And man, this was such a fun match. And like, it's such a, like, the only thing I would have changed was I would have liked to see Leon Slater grab the NXT title and have a moment with AJ Styles, because that moment is so cool. That was like them both, Leon Slater, they put on a show. They always do. And hitting his like Senton 450 on the initial X Division champion, as when you're the youngest ever X Division champion. Like, that is so cool to see. Like, I would like to see, I don't think they will ever do it, but like, as we're heading into AJ Styles' retirement year, I would like to see him in TNA probably run this back with Leon Slater. Like the cool thing of just like the passage of time there of the first ever X Division champion against the youngest ever X Division champion is so cool. Like, the you're talking about two guys. Again, Leon Slater is an interesting position because he's not a WWE wrestler. He's signed to TNA. So when his contract's up, it would be very interesting where he goes. Like, if recent history, a lot of those guys that have been working both have signed with WWE. But he is 100% a person, like very much the type of wrestler Tony Khan drills over and would very much throw a bag at. So I think, especially getting this big platform for him when you're on a smaller company, is massive. Like one of the more legendary nights that will be talked about. And like Dragon Lee and AJ Styles are so, like, obviously so talented. The fact that we're now heading into AJ Styles' last year as a professional wrestler, as an active wrestler, is crazy to think about. Like, we're not even over John Cena. We're having a few weeks, and then we're gonna have to start talking about this final year of AJ Styles' career. But you know how happy this makes him to help make new stars. Like, yes, Dragon Lee and AJ Styles won, but man, these two kids got a massive showing on a huge platform, and it's like it's deserved and earned. It's insane to be that young and to earn such a like prestigious position. I honestly, I don't think it's in the cards. I don't think they're going to give him. I think they might put him like the main event thing, but like, I think they're giving him like the matches he likes sort of thing on his way out. Hopefully they do like similar to what they did Cena, where like they should ask him like, who do you want to face? What are the things you haven't done that you want to do if this is going to be your final year? Because especially then now that they have a deal with TNA, like they can do a really cool thing with AJ Styles, because his career to this day, people think AJ Styles, they probably think TNA first before WWE. And like they're in such a like special position with him with this sort of weird deal where they can do something special for that last run. And I think like their world titles, the thing is very much jammed up at this point. There are a lot of people. I wouldn't be surprised they bring him back for like his last show. If they bring back Gallows and Anderson for his last ever show. If not in the crowd, like probably joining him in the ring or helping him out. I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. But yeah, the tag team match was absolutely great. So much fun. Then we get, again, I didn't outright hate it because there was going to be a large break between the match, the match and the main event. So to keep the energy up somewhat, they bring out The Miz, who throws his temper tantrum, and out comes R-Truth. R-Truth said, "You took somebody's opportunity when you like lied to get back in the John Cena tournament, and you took Joe Henry's position." And Joe Henry came out. Again, them trying to make another new, even though he's a little older, but like another one of the new NXT stars. Them again using the opportunity to do that, and pairing him with R-Truth is smart. And you're talking about somebody who cashed in at the perfect moment. Like, you can tell the bit was running stale a bit in TNA. Like, he's going to have to figure out some new levels of this character soon. And hello, Herbal Remedy. Who, yeah, a lot of people are feeling it today. We'll talk about that in a second. Our main event. But Joe Henry getting that position, pairing him with R-Truth is smart. But yeah, he definitely cashed it at the perfect time, and moving him to NXT when he did was perfect. Like, I hope Joe Henry continues to learn, because he's always in Natty's school. at the dungeon, continually working, hopefully figure out some new stuff with his character coming up. Because I do think Joe Henry is a lot of fun. And giving him that little position, the comedy bit position, to keep the live crowd's energy up for before the long break between the last match, their main event, which was the ring general Gunther versus John Cena. We're going to get into it. The controversial finish, which you can feel a lot of people, it's split a few different ways, that finish. And we'll get into that. But Gunther immediately, like, getting back his old music was genius, especially how the match ended. It worked perfectly. It was just cinematically beautiful. And that music hit, but we'll get to that in a second. Him coming out immediately, giving up the ring so A, John Cena can have his moment, and B, him going outside, and the video is online everywhere. And I highly recommend everyone check it out. But a child in fully decked out in John Cena merch starts getting into Gunther's face, and the kid cussing him out, or like saying F you, not saying the full. I think Gunther responded by saying, why are you saying fuck you to me? And just like coolly breaking down these kids' points. He's like, no one likes you. No, that is not true. Which is factually true. People do like him. It was very, very good. Like, Gunther is so good at this stuff. Like, and you've got John Bernthal on the outside in the crowd. If you see on like the video on like in the front row, just laughing it up. The Punisher having a ball watching Gunther roast this kid and calling a child uncivilized. Oh yeah, we're going to talk about that too, and how I feel about it all. Like, then John Cena comes out, and part of me thinks it's just a moment, but like it felt like it was his music was hitting me different. Like, it truly, like, those trumpets felt the most triumphant they ever have, especially when he hit the ring and just ran the ropes again. I'm like, man, this truly feels triumphant. This truly feels like an end. Him taking a moment. Again, it was a weird camera cut because they should have we seen the POV of John Cena turning the camera on Stu, which something, again, I'll commend John Cena for and talk about his in a second when we talk about his career as a whole. But him constantly putting over and making a star of a cameraman, a below the line guy, one of those guys you find out later has been there for like 30 years who you never truly knew was there, but making him a part of the John Cena legacy, that everyone will do the Stu, let's go to work forever now. Like, that's just a measure of that man. And him, once again, giving his props to Stu, the cameraman, and making his final run to the ring, like doing his entrance, stopping for a second, seeing everyone front row, all the legends front row for him. Like Trish Stratus, Eve Torres, Booker T, Mark Henry, Rob Van Dam, and then the pop when he stopped and hugged Kevin Owens was huge. Like the eternal sands of time. Elias too. How are you doing, Peggy? Elias, coming in front row, and Sammy, who was peak dad mode, was there with his wife and child front row, and then again John Cena being John Cena, seeing Sammy's son and taking an extra second for to greet Sammy's son, which Mr. Make-A-Wish always there for the kids. And hey, like that was like, yep, this is how John Cena is. The last person in Greece, the front row, as a child, and Sammy's kid. And there's the video of Sammy dancing to just like fully dressed and looking like peak dad energy, sitting in the front row with the son. Yeah, like I felt this was a perfectly fine, but like it was exactly the type of match as a whole. It was exactly the type of match I was expecting was going to happen. It was Gunther was going to beat down Cena for the majority, because like again, people have to remember there's a reason Cena was retiring. He can't do everything he once did. Uh, I'm not expecting Jericho till at least the Royal Rumble, or like right before, because it is in Saudi Arabia, so they might have to announce a lot of the people that would have been surprises early, because they would get spoiled online. Because it's harder to sneak people in when you've got like flight benefits and stuff and long flights. But all in all, like it was exactly sort of almost, it was a little formulaic, I guess, at times. But like they still had me a few times. Like I think John Cena hitting the second rope AA for a second, you think, oh my God, is he going to do it right here? And Gunther kicking out again, him putting Gunther through the table with an AA. I did like at one point, Michael Cole did call it the FU one last time. Yeah, Cole did a great job in this match. And John Cena taking a back chop from Gunther. Like Gunther, again, was great throughout this match. Did everything he needed to do. Like absolutely pummeled. Like, and then like every time Cena would have his back to him a little bit, he'd go back to that sleeper. And every time you're like, man, Cena's always, he's not going to tap out. He's going to pass out, or like he's going to get out of this. He always gets out of this. And that last, like, it was well done. The last, like, everything with Cena is a little bit comical. You have to remember. Again, props to Lillian Garcia too, as well, who understood the moment, is an absolute legend for a reason, and did absolutely great for this match and set the tone perfectly. But just like the close back and forth of Cena trying to get out and trying to counter into an AA, like doing making a thing of the one last "you can't see me" earlier in the match, like as one last fan service to the crowd. And then like him looking like he was going to pass out, and then just sticking his hand up one last time. And you're like, oh my God, Super Cena one last time. Is this really going to happen? And no, he pulls a John Moxley and just elbows the hell out of him, puts us back at sleeper. And again, this is one of the controversial parts. This is where like it splits off into separate different things. One, some people don't like that he tapped out. I was on Between Two Beers earlier this week, and I said John Cena had to tap out because I felt like even him passing out was a little bit of a cop-out. I felt if you're going to put over Gunther, the best thing to do is for him to tap out and just be truly final, that there's no equivocating there. And then two, a lot of people weren't happy that John Cena smiled to camera, which again, it's John Cena. Everything he does is sort of comical and over the top. And it does leave it open to interpretation too, because a lot of people did see it as him finally, just him coming to terms in real time that there was no escape. He didn't have the fight to keep up with Gunther. And just like, yeah, this is it. There is no choice. And tap it out 3 times. And then Gunther very quickly. I didn't notice at first, but afterwards, after they come back from replay, turning to the ref and saying, "He tapped out, he tapped out," like him even being a little bit of shock. And then to the absolute silence of that crowd, the Gunther's music hits, and that music is perfect. I honestly love that theme song. As Gunther quickly celebrates and leaves the ring, and John Cena sits up and sort of like that, taking the moment in. Yeah, it was the like silence. Only thing close was Undertaker losing, finally losing at WrestleMania, which again, it's the thing. Like people are like, "Why are you surprised? Why were people surprised that he lost?" It's because like I think people still had hope that he win. Like I was at Elimination Chamber in Montreal. The conventional wisdom part of me, who've watched wrestling forever, knew Sammy was going to lose. Like going into Elimination Chamber, I knew it. Like they weren't going to take it off Roman, but I still hoped. I hoped, and you could tell that crowd still hoped that Cena was going to win. And when Sammy lost, the crowd there was deflated. Like Sammy talked about, like he felt it in the ring. He just felt the air and the disappointment. That Herbal, I fully 100% disagree with, and we'll get through the fan reaction afterwards. That is very much revisionist history, and like time, people forget how bad Vince's booking was, especially near the end. Like one, disgusting human being shouldn't be on their television ever again. Two, his booking was bad. He was constantly rewriting shows at the very last second, switching stuff up. Like some of the best stuff that happened just happened organically and happened because of fans were pushing it towards so hard during his tenure. Like some of the best storylines, but like Vince was real bad, and like the roster didn't know honestly what was happening day to day. They were confused. There was a lot of start-stop booking. It was like there was a reason why attendance was bad at like for a large part near the end of Vince's tenure. It's because his booking was bad and the storylines were bad. Like it's very much revisionist history. Like again, this is not a defense of Triple H. We'll get into that too. As like John Cena staying there as the locker room starts empty, and it's led by, of course, Triple H, who hates to be on camera. Truly, I don't know why the camera's on him. The man hates it. He hates it so much. Why he honestly should be hiding his face the amount he hates the camera. But Triple H comes out to a chorus of boos, which I disagree with the crowd booing him for this particular thing. I don't agree with them booing Triple H. There is a lot to boo Triple H for, and a lot of bad booking decisions. Like we mentioned earlier on the show, the DQ finish to open the show. Like he does a lot of lazy booking choices. Again, I am perfectly happy with people taking time off and doing different things and him being over, but him going to SmackDown, not being at SmackDown and not being at different shows because he's doing stuff for the current presidential administration is bad and not great, and reasons to be booed. But the crowd taken away from that moment sort of sucked. I felt like this was like it's one of those, like, I know you're frustrated and angry, but this was about John Cena, and like at certain points it did take away from it. But them throwing that tribute video up for him, which is the point where I lost it. Like I cried during the tribute video of his career. I think like also it was a nice touch to have CM Punk, who has talked about how much John Cena has meant to him, and Cody Rhodes hand him the titles, and him having like no idea what to do with, like immediately tries to pass it back to both. Like, no, do the full tour with the titles in your hand. I feel like it was perfect timing too. The guy, the one dude, like couple dudes that got picked up on camera saying, "Leave the jorts in the ring." Maria, how's everything going? Hope you're having a great day. Like the dude getting picked up saying, "Leave your jorts." It would have been funny if he took off his jorts to reveal a second pair of jorts that now John Cena is now a never nude. Shout out Arrested Development. Uh, but John Cena afterwards leaving his shoes, which is too bad he didn't have the pump ups with him. Leaving his shoes and armbands in the ring, walking up that ramp. Like I think everyone, like Cody was very, very emotional. He was the last one to leave the ring. He did an interview like with Jackie Redmond, who like sort of surprised him with the interview. Like he wasn't expecting to get an interview, and she came up to him because she think he was visibly emotional, and he was like teary eyed about everything because like it's definitely somebody Cody has, and they talked about in the rivalry, has talked a lot about how much he like was at one point driving the car with John Cena in it, and they said he's his driver. They were traveling the roads together for a bit, so he was overcome with emotion, especially that they did sort of do their passing the torch there. But yeah, John Cena walks up the ramp, turns the camera one last time, and says it was a pleasure to serve us, and salutes the camera one more time. I felt all in all, this was the show on a whole was a good tribute in a good way to end John Cena's career in the WWE. I was totally like, I'm fine with his tapping. Again, I could have used him without like smiling and looking at the camera, but I'm not a person who hates it, because I was very much a dude accepting his fate. That like in that moment realizing he just did not have fight anymore, and just being like, guys, it's okay, and tapping out. Because like the more importantly, I think the lasting impact of his last match, they created, again, Triple H could be blow it soon, but they created a monster heel, which they've been lacking since they turned like Roman into like a tweener, and like they haven't had a truly monster dominant heel, and this like, it's weird, like he was heavyweight champion, and this knocked him up into a whole other stratosphere. I feel they Gunther comes out of this with so much momentum. Again, the videos going online of the fans falling him to his bus as he's just getting booed to Hall Heaven, like, still real to me, damn it. They were getting into him like this is classic wrestling response. No fun, cool heel thing where people are trying to take pictures of him. They were following him to cuss him out. And I think this truly accomplished what they wanted to do, and why wrestlers who are retiring go out on their back is to pass the torch and make a new star. And they absolutely accomplished that with Gunther here. Like putting him on such rare air of being the first person in 20 years to make John Cena tap out is special, and gives him something only he can say on this roster right now. And he's the last person for the CBO, like for the last person to ever say that I made John Cena tap out. So it gives him a special accolade and a thing going forward that they can really use. And like, I 100% agree. I think Gunther should open Raw. I think he's going to get like the sort of response Roman got after he has the potential to get that response, like the sort of response that Roman got after beating Undertaker at WrestleMania, where it's just nonstop boos and people are angry. Again, I want to see where they go from here with Gunther. I don't know if he's going to go after the heavyweight title again, even though like it's sort of like caught up between CM Punk and Braun Breaker. I truly want to know what's next here because they truly make Gunther into something else. Now, on a whole, this retirement floor was very fraught at times. They fully made a heel turn just for to have a viral moment and had no backup plan for it, which sucks because it took away from a lot of it. Like if they had a fully fleshed out plan, I felt the heel turn could have been great. But they didn't. They're sort of like playing it day to day, which took away from John Cena's last year. But I think at the end, they were able to right the ship. I think his SummerSlam match with Cody was great. We won't talk about barring only WrestlePalooza. And again, we're talking things Triple H should be booed for. A, bringing back Brock Lesnar. B, having Brock Lesnar beat him down again because apparently they want to establish him as a threat. Yes. Brock Lesnar famously not a threat ever up to this point. I honestly felt at times Brock Lesnar is a 150-pound guy who can barely lift anything. Like there was no reason for it. Again, I personally would rather never see Brock on my TV again. But if I'm forced to have him in a match, I think having Gunther retire Brock too would be huge because apparently Brock Lesnar is looking at a retirement thing this year too, which I feel takes away from AJ Styles a little bit. But if Gunther can chop him back into the abyss, I'm perfectly happy for that to happen. But I think that was the one misstep in the last back end of this little retirement, the second half of the retirement tour. I think him getting a last moment with Sammy was great, and the inverse of the U.S. title challenge that Sammy gave him a U.S. title challenge this time was a nice touch. I think him putting over Dom Mysterio was great as well. Him putting over two of the current generation stars and Dom Mysterio, a star that's going to be there for a while, was great. All in all, I gave it a C plus just because the heel turn really took out of it, and the Mania match took out of it because it was all it was on their most marquee matches of the year. And there was a couple bright spots in there. He did have some fun promos and stuff in there. But it could have been better on a whole. And I wish they gave him a few more dates, even though he wanted to do more dates and WWE is the one that told him to do less. I wish he would have done more dates and gotten a few more matches out of him. But yeah, we are potentially Fernando within the next couple of years seeing. I don't think Randy is planning on retiring anytime within the next few years because I really do feel after he came back from his injury, he's feeling very much regenerated. And he talked about that he wants to be there for a little while longer. Yes, Cena has made it abundantly clear he will never wrestle again. He is absolutely done. And if any one of us has watched Total Divas, we know how stubborn John Cena can be. And he has made it clear as final, like, I am done. This is gonna be like every other wrestling retirement. I am fully mentally and physically done. I'm fully Fernando. I'm fully taking him at his word. That he, because like again, John Cena does not need the money and has a very much successful Hollywood career. Uh, like again, it's not. I don't think it's his last appearance forever. I think he is probably going to get a Hall of Fame induction, if not this year, next year, but probably this year, or 2026. I mean, yeah, they coming up a Hall of Fame. I would not be surprised if he gets the Hall of Fame induction this year. I think he's probably going to do a couple more appearances around then, around Mania time. Yeah, it was very strange. They sent Randy to Riyadh for Mr. Beast. It was like part of the Saudi partnership. It was very strange. But like, I truly believe that he is absolutely done. This is a man that almost 100% stays to his word for his entire life. So like he's like gave his word that he is done wrestling after this. And like again, this is a dude who's a successful businessman on his own thing, very good with his own money, and has a very successful Hollywood career ahead of him, like fully entrenched in the DC universe, and constantly has a job there at the bare minimum, but also like in several franchises, very much in demand as an actor, and only going to be more so that he's now officially done with wrestling and can focus on acting full time. Yeah, like I think he might make an appearance here or there in WWE, but in that, like his in-ring career, I truly believe is done. I think the only reason he's going to be at Mania is because he's going to be at the Hall of Fame. I honestly hope he doesn't, because like it takes away from the moment that was last night and him walking. Like you have someone like Ric Flair who took away from that great WrestleMania match against Shawn Michaels to have a very strange career in TNA, which I think he regrets a bit. And then that like second retirement match, which was real bad. I did not want to watch. I still haven't watched to this day. Like it is very much like a lot of the wrestlers that do come back, have no choice to come back because they were probably bad with their money or didn't have as much money to begin with, weren't paid as much. So they have no choice but to keep wrestling. And it's the one thing they can do that they can still make money at. So that's why they continue to do it. But yeah, I don't think he's like, I think there'll be the other ones coming up. I think they're going to build new stars. I think it happens every generation. Like people thought The Rock and Austin, once they're gone, there's no one. And like, which actually like good segue, Maria, into his lasting legacy, which is the other last thing I wanted to talk about, which see his lasting legacy as a wrestler, which he came in at such a weird point in WWE's history. And like definitely at a downturn of WWE at first. Like it was very much hills and valleys, like WWE business wise. Like Batista came back just to have one more match. He never really had, like neither of them never really had a fully retirement match. And Stone Cold very much did it because like he was like in enough shape that he wanted to have one more match, and it made sense. Like he's like 3/4 retired. Was like, if the match is still there, like I'm in good enough shape if the match is good enough. But Batista is also fully done, And if you've seen him physically recently, like he definitely lost more weight because he doesn't need carry all that muscle anymore. So Batista 100% is another person who's 100% done wrestling and has kept to it. He said his last match at WrestleMania is going to be his last match, and it was, as he is fully engrossed in acting as well. But John Cena came in at a point where it was such a transition period. Not only were they going to be losing top stars, like The Rock was on his way out to Hollywood, like he was about to break out as a star. Stone Cold was leaving. You were losing all these like stars all at once, and you were heading into this new PG era where you're transitioning out of the Attitude Era, and you needed a flagship star, and he was the perfect person. Like there could have been you could have sculpted a more perfect person to be that baby face, that flagship star in that era as John Cena. I think he was the perfect man for the time. Just like Austin and Rock were the perfect person for the Attitude Era, and like Macho Man, and those were perfect time, like perfect characters and stuff for that era. I think John Cena was the perfect person for this era. Like starting out with the rap gimmick, which started out as and then becoming the wholesome family, like the kids character. Who, like, I'll tell you a story actually, which is like how it's funny because like we all almost like people when you're a kid. So I always liked John Cena. I always had a respect for John Cena. Like when I was 12, 13, I was a John Cena fan. Like I mentioned earlier, I had like the Chain Gang Soldier chain that I bought at a wrestling show. But very much, it's sort of things that he did become very much the kids act. And they sort of use that to like scrutinize him going forward, especially when you're older. But that's a very important thing. And he definitely kept families coming because like you did sort of like grow out of it when you were a teenager. Like I remember I was very much one of my favorite John Cena matches of all time is shout out to Timothy Chalamet, who also said this is his favorite pay-per-view all time. Wasn't my favorite pay-per-view all time, but it's one of my favorite John Cena matches, which John Cena versus RVD at One Night Stand. Like I was very much a RVD fan, and very much like I fell in love with those first two ECW shows. Like that first ECW One Night Stand show, like I'm wearing the ECW cap today for a reason, was very much exactly what I need to see as a 15, 16-year-old. Like as an angsty teen, like I wanted to see that violence. I wanted to see that rugged. And like John, especially at that point, John Cena was constantly winning. He was like the Chiefs or the Patriots of that era, like constantly winning. You always wanted to see somebody else new win. So like I aged out of it, but like he became very much the kids act. Like I'll tell you guys one story. I was in the barbershop one day, and like as I'm getting my haircut, there's a father with his son comes to sit next to the barber chair next to me to the other barber, and he like the barber asked the kid, or like the kid's father, like, how do you want your hair done? And like the father's like, come on, show him. And the kid from his, I swear to God, it was the most adorable thing. Kid from his pocket grabs a John Cena action figure and shows John Cena action figure. Like, I want my hair like this, like John Cena. I'm like, man, this dude is just like forever has it. And how important it is to have that sort of act on your thing that you connect so much with the kids. And like, honestly, like we could talk for hours about the amount of time and energy he's given to Make-A-Wish. And like, I cried watching those videos earlier of like the amount he's meant to like, to be able to give so much of yourself to that, to not only become the person to give the most Make-A-Wishes, to grant the most wishes, but also, and like everyone who has said like John Cena has granted me a wish, I said like how much in that moment, in that like very like what feels like such a small amount of time, he makes these kids feel so special. and just devotes all his attention to to that one kid who's talking to him, and like sits down to play with them and talk to them and hear them out, because he knows it's like they've been hoping for this and how much it means to them. That's the measure of that dude. Like, John Cena is far from a perfect person. I have my vehement disagreements with him on a lot of things, especially on Vince McMahon. I don't understand that part, but like, at his core, he is a good person trying to do his best. And like, being able to give so much of yourself to one industry for so long is special. And how much he to this day loves wrestling. Like, to his last day, he was at again, I mentioned it before, but he was at the Lodestone seminar, like the Lodestone classes that Bailey was doing, and he took his time as his last week as a professional wrestler to not only give these kids some knowledge and like talk to them, but to watch their matches. Like, they all went up, did different matches in front of them, and like the how special that was for each one of those young wrestlers, for one of the greatest of all time, to not only take time to talk to you, but to also watch your match and give you information about your match, give you critiques about your match. That is so special. And like, there won't be somebody quite like John Cena. I think there will be another star down the road that will like eventually break that. Like, I think Clody's close to that. But like, it's definitely takes somebody special to do what he did for as long as he did. But yeah, like, all in all, like, I think he's gonna have a massive, lasting legacy going forward. Like, he is the most modern day quintessential babyface we'll ever see. Like, they do transition from the Doctor of Thugonomics to the current day Never Give Up John Cena. Like, that evolution also like kept his career going, and that's why like he always got the "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks," is because younger crowd, the children, absolutely loved him. They completely like the bright colors, the positive attitude is something they attach to, and that's special. And that's not something you could like teach every day. Like, he was definitely somebody that could bring kids in, and like, same thing with adults later on. Like, that's an interesting question, because that changes every day. Again, a lot of my personal all-time rankings are very different from somebody else's. Like, my personal number one's Mick Foley, because like a lot of like, it's funny because a lot of people talking about Cena and how like there was the video online of with the Cricket Wireless commercial, but of all these people who like different points of their lives, like both children and adults, talking about how John Cena taught them to never give up. Like, that was Mick Foley for me when I was a kid who like father just passed away. Like, seeing Mick Foley take beatings and stuff and still going, that taught me I could. But like, John Cena was that for a lot of people as well. Personally, I would probably have him in my top 10 right now, like, if not top 8, because like, it's like, it's a lot. Again, it's when the era where I was watching, so like, again, I'm always gonna like forget somebody, but like, Mick's probably my number one. I would have Sammy and Kevin up there as well as like Stone Cold, Kurt Angle, The Rock. Cena's gonna be like up there in the mix as well, but he's definitely somewhere in my top 10 of all time personally, just because like he was able to do it for so long and be so good, and like have so many classic matches. Like, CM Punk wouldn't be CM Punk without John Cena, without having the perfect like counterbalance in John Cena in that rivalry. Like, same thing with Randy Orton. Like, those were the two upcoming kids at the same time, both like young face of the company. and like they during that era, like there's a few of them. Like, yeah, I agree with you. Like Stone Cold was like the group that like he definitely rocket powered and definitely saved WWE. He was the rocket that like blew up there. But yeah, uh personally, as we close out the show, I'm running a little long, but I don't care. Uh I think John Cena will be remembered as one of the greatest of all time. That I was actually thinking about this, Fernando. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Punk. Uh, just because he's the best speaker, he's possibly the best speaker. I think they might do two. I think they might do one person like introduces the person who actually inducts him. So like they might do a couple people. But I think the potential for the best speech might be Punk. It's either going to be Punk or Randy, maybe Kurt Angle. But I think Punk or Randy are definitely the main two choices off the top of my head. But I think like Punk can give the best speech out of any potential people, like the more entertaining speech. But yeah, he definitely, like on a business front, WWE definitely has changed a lot. It's signed more billion-dollar deals recently than ever, and that wouldn't have been done without a star like John Cena on the roster. Like there's a lot that wouldn't have happened without John Cena. And again, he stayed there when business was real bad, when a lot of shows were pretty empty and a lot of seats were taped off. He was still there working, trying to get it over. And yes, WWE definitely turned a corner now. And maybe they like all things, they might be entering another hill with like because they're pricing a lot of people out, and we'll see soon. But all in all, I think he left WWE in a good place, and this is the perfect time for him to retire. And it, like, again, nothing's perfect and everything's finite. Like everything ends, and there's going to be no truly 100% perfect retirement that you're going to be like everyone's going to be happy about. But like this was like any series finale on a TV show, everyone's going to debate it and think to high heaven. And at the end of the day, I felt they did a good job of sending him off last night. Yeah, I truly did. Like, again, time will see if they manage to capitalize on what they've done for Gunther here. Cause I think CM Punk set up Gunther like through the perfect pitch down the middle. I'm not CM Punk, I mean Cena set up Gunther for like Triple H here to do something really cool with him, and once again set up a monster heel for him. It just depends if WWE hits it, and we're gonna find out about that on Monday. Before I go, oh man, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but like I am personally a sucker for the Doctor of Thugonomics freestyles. I always enjoyed those. He did a way better job than he should have. And honestly, his album is a certified banger. His album was way like I think it went platinum, I believe, but it was legitimately very good and very well produced. But before we go today, as announced on Between Two Beards this week, the first nominees for the Brunchies, which will be happening on January 4th, which is a award ceremony for the most entertaining and like a love letter to comedy wrestling as well. Here are your first nominees for Normies Content Creator Edition. We got, for In the Weeds, we got Joe Pearl, Jeremy Lambert, and SP3. Fuck Ass Predictions, Alex Lajas, the Queen of the Ring. Between Two Beards, Pluggo and JPJ. Touching Grass and Reaction Streams, Wheezy Blonde, Dave LaGreca, Busted Open. And for Saturday Night Love, Big Bad Boris. These are the Excellence in Content Creation Awards, and they will be happening on January 4th. As long as the rest of the nominations will be coming out soon. I'm very excited about this award ceremony. And yeah, that's going to do it for me this week. You can catch me back here next week. We're going to be talking a little more AEW next week as they head into World's End. Oh yeah, I'm very excited. Everyone to see the rest of them. I'm very excited about this award show. I'm even writing monologue jokes, so we will see that. Everyone have a great rest of your weekend. Be safe as we head into this holiday season as well. Once again, happy Hanukkah to all our Jewish friends. As Hanukkah starts tomorrow. Hope everyone has a great time there with their families. And I will see you back here next week to talk a little more wrestling. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.